If the book of Acts was written by the traditional early date, within 30 years of the life of Jesus, then it was written during the time that eyewitnesses were still alive, and has great historical value in informing us of the earliest Christian beliefs. If Acts was written by AD 62, then it was written by a contemporary of Jesus. If Acts is shown to be accurate history, then it brings credibility to its reports about the most basic Christian beliefs, such as miracles and the death, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus. Here are 17 reasons to accept the traditional early date of the book of Acts. Number 1, there is no mention in Acts of the fall of Jerusalem, which occurred in 70 AD, a highly unlikely omission if the book was written after this date. Number 2, there is no hint of the outbreak of the Jewish War in 66 AD, or any drastic or specific deterioration of the relationship between Romans and Jews, which implies it was written before that time. Number 3, there's no hint of the deterioration of Christian relations with Rome during the persecution from Nero in the late 60s. Number 4, the author shows no knowledge of Paul's letters. Number 5, there's no mention of the death of James at the hands of the Sanhedrin, which occurred around 62 AD, according to the historian Josephus. Number 6, Gallio's judgment may be seen as setting a precedent to legitimize Christian teaching under the umbrella of tolerance towards Judaism. Number 7, the prominence and authority of the Sadducees in Acts belongs to the pre-70 era before the collapse of their political cooperation with Rome. Number 8, the relatively sympathetic attitude in Acts towards the Pharisees does not fit well in the period of Pharisaic revival around 90 AD, after scholars of Jamnia convened. It was after that meeting that the Pharisees led a new phase of conflict against Christians. Number 9, the language in the book implies that Peter, John, and Paul are still alive at the time of writing. Number 10, the prominence of the term God-fearers in the synagogues in Acts seem to point to the pre-Jewish war situation. Number 11, the insignificant cultural details are difficult to place with precision, but seem to best represent the cultural situation of the Julio-Claudian Roman era. Number 12, areas of controversy in Acts presuppose the relevance of the Jewish setting during the Temple period. Number 13, primitive formulation of Christian terminology is used in Acts, which fits an early period. Number 14, the optimistic tone of Acts would not have been natural after Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 AD and Christians martyred by Nero in the late 60s. Number 15, the ending of the book of Acts. Luke does not continue Paul's story at the end of the 2 years mentioned in Acts 28:30. Number 16, the immediacy of Acts 27 through 28. Several scholars, such as Colin Hemer and Norman Geisler, have noted that chapters 27 and 28 have a vivid immediacy, which can be strongly contrasted with the rest of the book of Acts. This indicates that the book was completed before Paul's death. Number 17, specific local knowledge. Quote, Luke manifests an incredible array of knowledge of local places, names, conditions, customs, and circumstances that befits an eyewitness contemporary recording the time and events. Norman Geisler. It is much more reasonable than not to accept the early date for when Acts was written. Lastly, there have been many records in Acts that have been historically corroborated and demonstrate that Acts is historically reliable. One Roman historian alone chronicled 84 confirmed facts from the book. If you'd like to see some of those 84 facts or more content on the historicity of Acts, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.